Hello, welcome to BioGrades TV. If you're new here, please subscribe and turn on the notification so you don't miss our next video. History of the Ashanti Empire. There have been various claims over the centuries on the origin of the Ashanti people. One of the most probable of the claims is that of oral history, which says that the Ashanti people originally belonged to a unified Akan clan that comprised the Fante, Wassaw, and some other Twi-speaking people. The history further goes to say that the ancestors of most coastal peoples, including the Ashanti and Fante, migrated west from faraway lands like Lake Chad and the Benue River. After they crossed the lower Niger River, they navigated through the forest of modern-day Benin and Togo, then settled on the Ghanaian coast. Their new settlement was rich in gold and kola nuts, and as a result, they were prosperous traders. By the 16th century, there was a boom in the region, and a number of highly developed Akan states had emerged. There was the Bono in the north, the Denkyira, Akwamu, Fante, and Ashanti to the south. By the 17th century, the Denkyira had dominated and exercised control over the smaller southern states. The Oyoko clan of the Ashanti then settled around a rich inland area at Lake Bosomtwe, just near Kumasi. Bosomtwe later became the empire's capital. The clan rose to prominence under Denkyiran's dominance, to the surprise of Obiri Yeboa, who wanted the clan free from Denkyira's control. After Obiri Yeboa's death in 1680, Osei Tutu, his nephew, came up with a carefully thought-out plan to overthrow Denkyira in pursuit of his late uncle's desire, which had become his desire also. His first step in achieving his plot was to unite the other Ashanti clans. He realized that to unite them, he would need some authority. He then took a lofty title called Asantehene, also known as King of the Ashanti. Tutu's enthronement as King of Ashanti in 1700 was quite dramatic. Okomfo Anokye, Tutu's chief priest and advisor, called a meeting of all the heads of each Ashanti clan. During the meeting, Anokye called a golden stool down from the heavens and into Osei Tutu's lap. Seats like the one he conjured were traditionally symbolic of a chief's leadership. However, there was even more to this stool, as it embodied the spirit of the Ashanti people as a whole. The Ashanti chiefs were astonished by Anokye's act, immediately swore allegiance to the stool and Osei Tutu as the Asantehene. It was at this point that they formed the Ashanti Union. Ashanti's capital, Kumasi, is said to have been named so because Osei Tutu, the new king of Ashanti, sat under the kum tree during territorial negotiations. With his alliances firmly secured, Osei Tutu led his new army to defeat the Denkyira, as that was the primary reason he took the title. This victory gave the Ashanti access to the European trade that was coming in from the coast. This further led to the empire tripling in size and becoming a strong, war-focused nation. In 1717, Osei Tutu died in a battle while he campaigned against Akiem, another Akan state. Okpokuware, Osei Tutu's successor, created the Great Oath of the Ashanti in order to further unify his people. Koromante Nememeneda, a combination of words referring to Saturday, the day Tutu died, and the place he died, were words that were used to bind pledges whenever they were uttered. The oath played a vital role in pledges of allegiance because it bound the chiefs and their Asantehene together forever. Okpokuware expanded the empire's reach by subjugating Sewi, Giaman, and Akwamu and brought them into the Ashanti Empire. All of these territories constitute most of present-day Ghana. A major success that Ware had during his reign was a decade-long war with Akiem, whose defeat in 1742 spread Ashanti's political and economic domination to the coast, earning the empire a juicy spot as Gold Coast's largest trader of captives, gold, and ivory. This definitely brought about a remarkable boost to the empire's economy. Opokuware later focused on the centralization of the administration. He weakened the power of provincial chiefs by increasing the number of subordinates who reported directly to the Asantehene. The provincial chiefs were not satisfied with this act, so they chose to revolt. Ware subjugated the Akiem and Wassaw people, who leveraged the chiefs' revolt to fight for independence. By 1750, just before his death, Opokuware had forced the chiefs to accept his reorganization of the empire, thereby preventing the nation from falling apart. As the Ashanti expanded their trade networks towards the interior, more British merchants flooded their territory for business, particularly to monopolize trade. That was the beginning of the empire's decline in the 19th century. It eventually led to a century of wars between the Ashanti and the British. Some of the smaller states like the Fante and Denkyira joined forces with the British to fight the Ashanti. Tensions kept rising until the Ashanti sent about 10,000 warriors to expel a smaller force of British, Fante and Denkyira soldiers from their territory in 1824. This move was so bloody that they displayed the head of the defeated British governor, Charles McCarthy, in the capital of Kumasi. This was to serve as a warning to anyone who planned to invade their territory. But that was not the end, as 2 years later, the British avenged their loss and defeated the Ashanti at Kantamanto, forcing them to relinquish their claims on many coastal people, including the Fante and Akiem. A few decades later, the British returned to take total control of the territory. However, the Ashanti people did not give up easily. Despite how hard they fought, the British defeated them and established a colonial era in the Gold Coast and other parts of the continent later known as British West Africa. What have we missed out of this history? Let's know in the comment section. Will it be ridiculous to subscribe to our channel? If no, please like this video, share, and subscribe to our channel.